Forrest Gump or Saving Private Ryan.
I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, well, there you go.
What?
I know. Tim, I watched Forrest Gump in like high school.
Did I recommend it to you in junior high?
Yeah, but that was a totally different time in my life. I'm not gonna go watch a movie based off a junior higher's recommendation. I wouldn't expect you to do the same to me.
Do you still view me as
in that case, when I say, man, you really need to see Tokyo Drift, that would add a lot of merit to it if we're going by our junior high standards, which still does, by the way. Tokyo Drift is one of my all-time guilty pleasures.
I have not seen a single Fast and Furious movie.
Are you serious?
I didn't like the original one, Tanner?
No, I've never seen it.
We were actually talking about Hobbs and Shaw at lunch today.
Mm.
I have not seen that, nor do I wish. But they were talking about like all the Fast and Furious movies we've seen. I think I've only seen 2 or 3.
The funniest thing about the Fast and Furious franchise, and one of the main reasons you're really going to enjoy it, is how it goes from literally a guy undercover trying to keep people from stealing DVD players and 20-inch tube TVs in street racing to literally Vin Diesel being a superhuman who can break in half a parking garage by jumping up and slamming his fist down really hard, which is still one of the greatest cinematic scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, that actually happened?
Yeah, he's like fighting the bad guy.
Which one was this?
I think it was the Fate of the Furious because he had his superhero mask.
Which
in
one
that
is that?
8. Fate.
Oh,
F8.
okay.
Fate and Furious.
He had a superhero mask?
He had this mask that basically was like that. It was like he looked like you ever play that game Army of Two on the original Xbox?
Yeah.
It's like this full bodied mask, almost like Shredder. But he wore it in there, but not like all the time, but he wore it like when he was fighting and stuff like that, and it kind of just made him look like a superhero. But yeah, there was this scene at the end of the movie where he's fighting the big bad, and the parking garage is already falling apart. It's already splitting in half, and he just sends the finishing blow by leaping in the air and moving 50,000 tons of cement with just the power of family and Coronas.
Oh,
that was
Mi familia.
Dude.
Do it for the family.
We're family. Corona. Dude, I love the Fast and Furious movies. They're so stupid, and I cherish them with all my heart. Dude, did I ever tell you guys the story about me crying about
in the Fast and Furious movie?
No, I didn't cry. So this is after Paul Walker died. This is the movie directly after Paul Walker died. So they had to film in mostly with like his brother, and they like use special effects to CGI Paul Walker's like face over his brother's. His brother looks almost identical to Paul. Anyways,
I disagree.
It's close. And it's close enough for movie magic, Jordan. And
I think you could do that with anyone's face.
And at the end of it's true. Well, we saw it in The Irishman. At the end of the movie, Paul Walker's character, who is obviously dead at this time, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker were great friends in real life. And Vin Diesel's driving away because he knows Paul or whatever Brian Spillman is retiring from the family life, from the life of being a big time car driver, and he's going to settle down with his family. And Vin Diesel starts driving away in his car, and Brian catches up with him in his car and rolls down his window and says, "Thought you could leave without saying goodbye?" And Vin just says like something like, some Vin Diesel line, really gravelly.
You feel it more.
See, I don't think he says anything in that moment.
He may not, and
because it cuts his face and he smiles back, right?
And they're driving down the road, and then it goes into a fork, and Vin goes one way, Paul goes the other, and it was an emotional scene in the movie. I gotta be honest, they did a really good job because they played that one song. Yeah, it's been a long day without you, my friend. That one.
Exactly like that.
Exactly. Charlie Puth is in the building, guys. Charlie Puth.
They're on the highway?
They're on like some backcountry like road in Mexico, someplace where Brian is gonna retire or something. I don't know.
So I just imagine
they're in California. It's like a coastal highway.
Yeah.
Where it's
like him going into head-on traffic.
Yeah,
there's no traffic at all.
But 70 miles per hour or something, like rolls down the window and all you hear is just fucking wind and like,
I think they stop. They come to a stop. They come to a complete stop.
Yeah.
And then he says that.
Okay.
That would be hilarious. The wind's blowing in his face. Bug flies in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an emotional scene in the movie. But I cried when I go to pick up my girlfriend, now fiance Paige at the time, to go grab some dinner the next day, and I'm describing to her the scene, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden, all the emotions just come over me for some reason, and I start sobbing like a fucking maniac. I literally cannot stop crying, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "It's just really sad." And I have to pull over off the side of the road and completely just finish my cry and sob for about like 2 more minutes, and then I'm able to compose myself and get back on the road. So that's
Cool.
that's my story of crying over Fast and Furious.
Nice.
Sweet.
There you go.
So
I was gonna make a comment about me crying during Christopher Robin, but I feel like it'd be inappropriate in this situation.
yeah, someone actually died, Tim. Not just a fake bear going back to this 100-acre woods.
I mean, Christopher Robin's belief. Just kidding.
Saw a car accident.
He's
on
not
the way to
fake.
work
He's
this
real if
morning.
you believe he's real. Sorry, what?
Why does that sound like something you... Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, man. It was bad. Like, I don't know any of the details. I tried like looking up local news throughout the day to see if there was anything on it, but going down, was it 119th?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of starts to bend around and turns into like Northgate or whatever.
Something like that bends down into
Yeah.
old.
And then it hooks through Old Olathe. But as I was coming around the bend, there was a side street kind of coming up. And all of a sudden, this car just rolls like across the street, lands like on its roof.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea what happened.
Did you get out in hell?
Everyone kind of came to a stop, and then there was a guy who, I don't know if that car hit another car or if a car hit the car that started rolling. Someone was walking towards the overturned car, and there's like sheriffs all over that area because it's by the courthouse. I think there was like a motorcycle cop just happened to be right there. So then people in front of me kept going, so I kind of slowly like... It felt weird, but yeah, I have no idea if everyone was okay. I sure hope so.
I sure hope so as well.
Sure hope so. There were a lot of sirens a minute later as I was walking into the office. Like, fire engine came by, cop cars went lights and sirens down the street. So
Certainly the Cinemaxtic podcast is thinking of the people who were in that accident. Hopefully they were able to get out okay. That's a scary situation, Tanner.
scary.
One time I was driving to work, and there was cops with a big yellow tarp that was like on 2 poles with like weighted bottoms, like it was meant to block the view of something. And they're walking down towards this lake, and there was a lot of cop cars lining up, lots of cop cars and lots of police in the area. And I was like, what the hell was that? That's super strange. Turns out that a guy either doesn't know how to swim or was, trying to, I don't know, drown himself. And there was a dead body in the lake right off of like Metcalf and
It was before Metcalf in college.
yeah, Metcalf in college. There's the Shamrock buildings or whatever. There's like the Shamrock Place or something, Shamrock Towers. I don't know what they call them. And there's a big lake out in front of it, or a big pond out in front of it.
Yeah.
And apparently they pulled a dead body from there that they found floating. The people in the office are warming up their coffee, and they look down, and I guess it wouldn't be warming it up. It'd probably be hot. It was in the morning, so it'd still be hot.
They could be. They could have brought it from home.
Yeah, that's true. So they could have been warming up their coffee. And apparently they looked down, and there's just a body floating in there. I mean, that's one way to start your day. And it turns out that there was a dead body in there for sure. And they don't really know why he did that, but he did die.
Or
And
maybe
then
they do know. You just don't know why he did it.
I don't know why he did it. And then 3 weeks ago, in front of the same building, I don't know what's going on with this place. Like, it's some sort of cursed ground. Something's going on in that water. But there was a guy running from 4 very large security guards in front of this place. And I'm not joking. As close as Jordan is to me, they wrap this guy up, and he's
about
like
6
trying to
people.
rip away from him. And there's like 3 cars pulled over, like with people out like trying to call the police and stuff. And this guy gets tackled. And that's all I heard of that. I didn't hear anything else. So I was like, that seemed like that was a big deal. And I don't know if I want to know what he was trying to do.
Maybe we should just stop going
Maybe we
down
should.
that road.
Maybe he was just hanging
an
dong on
alternative route.
Metcalf. You know, people like to call the police about everything. Can a guy not just hang dong anymore? That's probably what was happening.
No,
Not in
only one person
not
can.
in this town, but
It's Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
It's happening.
And on that note, on today's episode of Cinemaxtic, we're going to be discussing various movie news. There's not much to talk about, to be honest. So
That's
we're
a
just going to
great
bullshit
lead-in.
this, and you couldn't tell by the
we're
intro.
about to waste 40 minutes. Of it.
There's not going to be much exciting things to happen, but we are going to talk TV talk today to fill in some time, including Watchmen, including the reactions to The Witcher. We're also going to talk what we watched this week, as always, and, of course, a couple new trailers dropped for Black Widow and 007, No Time to Die. And guess what? There's no time to die right now because it's podcasting time. It's time to dive in. This is Cinemaxtic.
You missed a huge opportunity for a segue into your intro there.
What did I do?
Talking about accidents and death.
Oh,
No time
no
to
time
die,
to die.
but
Nah,
oh well.
yeah, you should have
See,
stopped me
if we would have
mid-sentence.
planned this out.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I was like scouring the internet for any DC news I could find, and I just came up blank today, guys. I'm
Is
sorry.
that why you threw Watchmen in there?
No. I always forget Watchmen is DC. But I'll tell you this much, man. I started reading the graphic novel for the first time. I'm 25 pages in, and I'm hooked. And one, I freaking love Rorschach. Like, that is like an awesome character. Within 25 pages, that is a super cool character. I just love his demeanor, and he's just a really cool guy. He's got a cool grapple gun.
He's not a cool guy.
I mean, he
In his own way, Tanner. In
he
his own
does
way.
what's right.
He's a compelling character,
He
but
does
I wouldn't
what-
say he's a cool or
Well, he
potentially even good person.
he's not a good person, but either is Batman. Batman's not really a good person.
More good than Rorschach.
Sure. What the creator was Alan Moore
Yeah.
always said is that Rorschach is what Batman would be like in real life. Batman wouldn't just go on having a normal life like as Bruce Wayne. He would just be kind of a fucked up person all
Well,
around.
but Batman doesn't kill people.
He doesn't, and
Ben
Watchmen
Affleck's
is
Batman does.
Watchmen is
That's
definitely
true.
in a morally
The Zack Snyder Murderverse Batman does kill people.
Who also directed Watchmen.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Rorschach clearly, this is definitely a morally inept society that Watchmen takes place in. But I don't know. I just really like his gruff attitude.
1980s America.
Well, yeah, exactly. Pretty much exactly, yes. And I just like his kind of gruff attitude. I have no problem with him as a character so far. I'm sure he's going to do some pretty mean things. at
I
some
thought it
point,
was
like kill some guy.
1940s.
That's pretty mean.
Nope. It's the 80s.
No, yeah.
But I thought Dr. Manhattan was created during the Manhattan Project.
Well,
I haven't sat at this end of the table. There is definitely a bar right
Technically, I think you have.
yes, the
Yes,
the meat
I
of
did,
the
actually.
story takes place in the
I think you're
80s.
sitting close to this. time.
Oh.
But yeah, man, 25 pages into that graphic novel, and I'm hooked. I'm like, I love the art. I love the way the story is being told, and I can't wait to watch the movie after that because I actually started the movie and stopped it because I wanted to read the graphic novel
You
first.
still haven't seen the movie?
No. And there's like 4 cuts in the movie you can watch. There's like one that's like 4 hours long. Do you like them all?
I would say the director's cut is probably worth watching. The ultimate cut that's interspersed with the animated shorts, no.
Not worth it?
No.
Too much.
No.
All right. Well, I'll definitely know what to look for then. But yeah, no, it's compelling, and we'll talk about the Watchmen TV show here later on the show. But as always, of course, I'm your host Max Leadham at Max Vozzy. Back again for another episode with my 3 amigos here. Tim Reichmuth at Timterest. How are we doing today, my friend?
Good.
Tanner?
Okay.
Tanner Rush at Danger Rush. How you doing today?
Good.
Okay.
And Jordan Katzer on the ones and twos down there behind the mic and behind the camera. Because guess what? We're testing our live stream situation And it's fun. Jordan put together a cool little backdrop that we'll show you at some point when we decide to go live with this thing.
It's not perfect though.
It's not perfect.
It's
One
not.
critique.
It was on that. It was on the other wall for a second.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking nightmare trying to move it.
Tanner
Tanner helped. Thank
One
God.
critique: the light is a little bright, and I believe that needs to be there.
Oh no,
But
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
My critique
Max is just staring right into
I'm
it.
looking dead at it. Like I am.
Be blind by the time
I
recording's over.
to be honest, I haven't been able to see a thing for the past 60 seconds. So I think that's already
Don't look into the light, Max.
fully on. I'm just looking at the bottom of the tripod.
Turn
Just
it
like,
up brighter.
I turned it down. I need to turn it back up.
yeah. But yeah, this is why we practice working out the kinks.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Well, what do we watch this week, boys? I watched a few things. I watched. Let's start with Claws, the Christmas movie, the Netflix exclusive Christmas movie, 2D hand drawn animation. I can definitively say it is one of the most gorgeous animated movies I have ever seen.
You need to watch Your Name.
You all right?
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I watched, and I'm like, I watched something, but I have absolutely no recollection.
while
See,
you're-
that
while-
shows how good it was.
While you're thinking of that, I'll continue with what I watched. And the
Ignore
2D
my
animation.
expressions.
Here's the thing, guys. If you want to see 2D animation, and I know plenty of our listeners are passionate 2D animation fiends, they can't get enough of it. But if you do, you should go watch Claws and support it because it's gorgeous, and I want to see more from this studio. It's an amazing art style. I loved it, and yeah, and the story is really good. It's a unique take on the classic Santa Claus tale. A lot of emotional weight to it. Some cool things to the old quote unquote Santa Claus lore that happens in this movie, and yeah, it's just a fun watch. The voice acting is incredible. There's some great music in here, great little musical bits. There was maybe one or two like musical choices that I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting song choice for this bit of the film. But it is a smaller indie studio, so I don't think they had like the biggest budget with that. But it was still great. Can't recommend it enough. It was really, really good, really good. Anyone, even if you don't like Christmas movies, I think you should give it a watch because, to be honest, it really doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. It's kind of like Joker. It's like it's Christmas movie in theme only, but like what happens in it just seems like it could be any movie about an old guy giving away presents, and it's kind of cool. It's really good. I also got a chance to let's see on Saturday night to watch The Irishman, all 3 hours and 30 minutes of it.
Oof.
Very long, and I only was able to watch like half of it before I had to cut it and watch the rest in the morning. Very good film. Great performances by Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and damn it, what's his face? One of the Wet Bandits.
Ray Romano.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
I was about
and
to
Ray
say
Romano.
Steve
I know he's in
Buscemi.
Ray's good in that too.
Oh, Ray Romano's
Joe
in it?
Yeah.
Pesci coming out of
He's making a comeback.
The Romanaissance.
Hey, he almost was nominated for an Oscar.
Everybody loves
him for his role in The Big Sick.
Yeah.
He was good in that, but he's good in this too. But yeah, Joe Pesci coming out of retirement to act again with two guys he's acted with plenty of times, and one guy he's been directed by plenty of times, Martin Scorsese. It's pretty much like the all-star team of mob movie actors, and it's all in one movie. You also get, for just like a second, like maybe like 3 minutes of screen time, Harvey Keitel.
Oh,
He's not in it very much at all.
is Ray Liotta in it?
Ray Liotta did not make it.
They didn't get Ray Liotta.
They didn't get Ray
in it.
Liotta. You'd think he would be in it.
Huh.
But they didn't get Ray. But it's a great movie. I will say this. The special effects are incredible. To be honest with you, I couldn't tell when I was like, honestly, it was so good and so natural. I was like, okay, what part is CGI? When is the CGI? Like when am I? Is this not just Robert De Niro in heavy makeup? Because they did a really good job at morphing the face and making them look younger in different parts. So that was great. The score, super, super good. And the story, though it is very long, it is definitely the story Martin Scorsese wanted to tell. I would wager as a guy who's always, championing true cinematic experiences by not wanting to go to like Netflix and obviously all of his comments on Marvel. I think there's no doubt that this movie is not made without Netflix, because there's no way this movie is 3 hours and 30 minutes long and getting in a movie theater. They're gonna cut that down big time if they.
Their neighbors are.
I think
some music.
I think
right
they were hanging up Christmas stuff, so I think they're in. They're getting into the. They're
It's
getting
a holly
Halloween.
jolly Christmas.
That's exactly right. I took the words right out of my mouth. But it was very, very good, and Al Pacino is great in this. Al Pacino does a great job portraying really real people. He did so in this. And Robert De Niro is Frank Sheeran. I've been doing a lot. I've been diving into Robert De Niro's catalog a lot lately. I watched Raging Bull, The Comedian, The King of Comedy, and Taxi Driver all recently, and I want to keep watching more. I just love him as an actor. And yeah, no, it's great. This really isn't any spoilers. I just love the ending of the film is rather sad and I was kind of sad and depressing until you realize like, no, this guy kind of deserves what's happening to him. It explores something that mob films often are kind of afraid to explore, and it's like what happens to these guys in their older age and what happens to them later in life. Most of the time, they're dead. They don't really going to make it past to an older age. But in the case of Russ and Frank Sheeran in this movie, who were big time mafia kingpins, they end up serving time, and they serve most of the rest of their life behind bars. And it's just a really good look at how their lives were so lavish. They were such big deals in the mafia community. They were getting celebrated with big dinners, and people just, kissed their pinky finger, right, with the ring, and they bowed down to them in their big shot collars and all this. When they go to prison, no one cares. They have nothing. They're just withering away old men, and that all that majesty and all the things that they did, they sacrificed throughout their lives, all the killing and the blood that they spilled and the family life they sacrificed, all amounted to absolutely nothing besides them being alone and dying alone. It was sad at first, but then you realize that they do it's basically a teardown of that culture and just showing these guys are assholes. They deserve what the life they ended up getting. There's a great scene at the end where Robert De Niro is like, Frank Sheeran is like 90, and he's getting interviewed by the FBI trying to close the case of what happened to Jimmy Hoffa, who is played by Al Pacino. Jimmy Hoffa goes famously missing in the 80s. Frank knows what happened, and I won't spoil that. You guys will find out in the movie. Frank knows what happens, but he says, I can't tell. And the FBI goes, who are you trying to protect? And they literally list every single main character in the movie by name, and like, they're all dead. They're all gone. Who are you trying to protect? And there's just this great emotional weight to that he realizes everything he did, pointless. No one cares about him. He's lost his family, and it's coming down on him.
The movie doesn't really go into, but his son goes on to become like a huge, albeit forgettable pop star in, the late 2000s.
Yeah. It's incredible that no one's ever even noticed that. It's,
Wait, who's his son?
Ed.
Multiply,
really?
divide. No, not really. Oh. No.
Oh boy.
Oh, Tim.
Is my microphone
The
on?
song,
Shit,
the was it The Shape of You?
Yeah, it was.
It's actually about a big plate of spaghetti that is Papa made for him.
Oh my God! It's about the gabagool. Oh, Tim, that was really funny. Are you really?
Sorry,
it would make sense. I mean, it was. Wait, no, it wouldn't.
you guys.
Oh God, I thought someone was just coming into your house.
Now I feel like an idiot.
Terrified.
Oh fuck!
I was
Normally,
ready to flip this table. I'm like, let's defend this thing, but it's all right. We know her.
Yeah,
it's safe. I was like, are your neighbors coming up who are hanging Christmas
They
songs?
heard
Like,
us.
You guys are being too loud. You're coming over my Christmas songs. But yeah, that's what I watched this week. I think that was it. I watched that Netflix Christmas special, Let It Snow. Let It Snow. It's not a special, it's a movie. It's got a few like up and coming actors and actresses in it. It reminded me a lot of damn it, I keep forgetting the names. Is that one? It's not technically a Christmas movie, but it also is like
Die Hard.
No, the one where there's like a bunch of people. Like it's like a bunch of separate stories interweaving together. What's that one called? It's a bunch of separate stories. They weave together.
I
It's
know
got
what you're
Keira
talking
Knightley
about.
in it. It's got
Is it something holiday? No.
It's got Emma Thompson in it. It's got Alan Rickman in it.
When was this?
It's got.
When did this come out?
Oh,
It was like early 2000s.
You know what? Let me look
Look
it
it
up.
up.
Real quick.
Look it up. It's like not technically a Christmas movie, but it is, and I can't think of it. But it's very similar to that, and it wasn't good. Let's just get to that.
It is Love Actually.
Love Actually, yeah, it was very Love Actually in feeling, but it wasn't.
But you didn't love it actually.
I didn't love it actually. I loved Love Actually. This one was not very good. So, yeah, those are the three things I watched that I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I also watched a lot of TV, but we'll get to that later. Who wants to go next?
So I remembered what I watched. I didn't watch anything.
Cool.
I watched. I think I watched maybe like 15 hours of Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels,
Oh,
yeah.
Tim, no.
I was told to watch
It's
it.
good.
It's a good show.
It's good. It's worth it. You should watch it.
Rebels isn't good.
There's some good parts on there.
Rebels isn't good.
You're
good
not,
parts
you're
in
not
there.
good, Taylor.
Rebels isn't good.
It's some good. No, people beg to differ. It's good. There's actually a really great bit there at the end of season 2. It's one of the greatest bits of Star Wars I've seen. It's awesome.
But you got to get through 2 seasons first.
Was it season? Yeah.
Are you talking about the
Yeah, I mean-
Vader Ahsoka fight?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Tanner, you
That was
might as well
awesome.
just watch it on YouTube. dude.
Season 3,
I have, yeah.
4.
It's-
Was it worth it?
Oh man, the end of season 4. Holy crap. That's emotional.
Look, guys, this isn't Force Vision, but I wish Dave Filoni didn't assume everyone cares about Ahsoka as much as he does.
Oh.
I
That's all I got
think-
to say about
I
it.
think you would be surprised how many people care about Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. My roommate Drew.
I think I would. I think
But
I would be.
You know what? The greatest thing about Star Wars is you don't have to love everything that's made.
Exactly.
put out there.
There's so many different characters.
There's
each
so
can
many
have their
different
favorite.
iterations of the stuff.
Max's favorite is C-3PO.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But yes, that's a good point, and we will bring that up. Force Vision. No, we won't. But there is one thing I want to make here. There is this weird thing in fandom where if you don't love everything, you can potentially be labeled as a toxic fan just because you don't love everything. Red Letter Media does a favorite bit. I just want to consume the product and then buy more product. And that's like what people expect out of fans is that you must enjoy it, you must consume it, you must spend your money on it. You have to enjoy it. And if you're objective to something, then you're considered toxic. But that's not the case. What's great about movies and film and Star Wars is that you don't have to like everything. And we can carry on about our lives.
Exactly.
Now, here's why I didn't like The Last Jedi. It was
No.
That was a segue into the Last Jedi
man.
conversation.
Tanner, what did you watch this week?
I watched. Finally got around to watching Inside Out. Right? Is that what it's called? The Pixar movie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The emotions. It was cute. I don't know. I definitely can say I'm far outside the target audience for that movie. I recognize it's good. I just didn't totally connect with it on a personal level. I didn't really get much out of it. But it was fine. It had some funny, cute moments to it. I haven't seen Toy Story 4 or Coco yet, but I feel like Pixar, until I see that, in my mind, they're still at the Cars 2 level of Pixar.
People say Coco makes them cry all the time.
I want to watch Coco. I
do
haven't
too.
gotten around to it.
I haven't either.
I
I started watching it a few weeks ago, but I stopped and I just never picked it back up.
And of course, they've got Onward. I think Onward is their new one coming out. It's like a fantasy, urban fantasy kind of thing. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland voicing these
Yeah, that looks fun.
That does.
I
that
like
looks
all
pretty
the.
good.
elves.
I like most of the Pixar movies. I'm not like lining up to see them in theaters. I usually catch them when they come out on DVD because my parents always buy them for the grandkids.
Right.
But there's some I go and check. I mean, I'll probably go check out Frozen 2 at some point. I mean, I enjoyed Frozen 1
Oh yeah, I know. I'm
enough
gonna.
that-
That's not Pixar, bud.
What is that?
That's Disney Animation Studios.
Oh, that's right.
Tisk tisk
Yeah.
tisk.
I still have not seen Frozen 1.
I haven't either.
It's
You wanna watch it,
you know,
Tim?
it's actually it's just
Get it-
over.
let's
You
get
know
it
what-
going.
You know what the funniest part
Let's
is?
do it.
Is that like the
It's on
most
Disney Plus, right?
popular,
Tangled's better.
the most by far.
Tangled is better.
You know what's funny? The most popular. I hate to say it, but probably the most popular Disney song of all time is "Let It Go," and it's not even close.
It's
to
not
the
even.
best.
It's just loud. It's
Yeah.
just a loud song.
Max just won't let it go.
I didn't like any of the music. I like the music at the beginning where they're cutting ice and everything like that. That like kind of like that kind of like Viking,
I guess, but like
tribal type song. I like that, but everything else
I feel
is
like
just
that
okay.
sequence, from what I remember, went on forever.
Yeah,
And like, I guess it introduces man character.
man character number 1. Yep.
Rapunzel could kick Elsa's ass, is all I'm saying.
No doubt about it.
Just- she's got ice, but Rapunzel's got the
I wanna-
fucking frying pan.
And Tangled is hilarious too.
It's funny.
It's very funny. I remember watching Tangled for the first time in high
Frozen's
school.
not about anything.
That was a good night.
It's just music.
what happened
It's just
that
movie.
night?
It's just a long music video.
Yeah, it is. And the story's okay. I don't know. But yeah, okay. So you got around to watching the Inside Out. Okay.
Inside Out. 3 stars out of 5.
I thought you were gonna say out of 10.
I actually really liked Inside Out, but yes, I understand. Go
Yeah,
on.
I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't dislike it.
Yep.
I harbor no ill will towards the movie. I was
Good.
just kind of
Yeah.
Then I watched Grinch, the new animated one, which you had said on the last episode, I believe, that you had watched it.
Is that
Yeah, I
one
believe
Benedict
so.
Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
What
didn't-
was this? I'm sorry. I just
Grinch?
got- Yes.
It was you not liking the animation, right? That was one of your comments, or no?
That was me. I don't
was
like.
you,
I don't.
okay.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
of
No. I
Illumination.
was fine with the animation.
The animation was like the actual animation of the characters, the character models. It was all fine. The movie's just kind of weirdly bright. I don't know. For some reason, like, Grinch does not exist in daylight in my head. I don't know. That's just me, maybe.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe he's nocturnal. Is that canon?
don't know. I just can't get away from the Jim Carrey take on it.
You like that one?
Oh, I love that movie.
I
It's
caught that.
so underappreciated.
It is, and I caught that movie on TV the other day, and I'm just like, you know what I always think when I see it? I'm like, this is so bizarre.
It's weird. The
But
movie's
it's
completely weird.
good. If it is good,
Which I think is great because the animated Grinch is not weird at all. It
That-
has no personality,
and that was also during the
which is
period-
my problem with it.
And in the early 2000s was also the period of time where people were obsessed with making live action versions of cartoons, like obsessed with it. Scooby Doo, Garfield, The
Yeah,
Grinch,
yeah.
Dr. Seuss,
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat. Yeah, like
I forgot about Cat in
Yeah.
the Hat.
just all these like bizarre live action iterations, and it never really is like. Yeah, it's like it always suits it better to do like just a really good animated movie than it is to do the live action. But that in this case, maybe not, because it's got a special place in my heart.
It's just the movie. I
remember-
don't know. I felt like it didn't really have any. It's inoffensive, but there's like no charm to it whatsoever, which is bad since it's a Dr. Seuss adaptation.
See, I thought there was some charm to it because I thought the whole Grinch just wanting to. The reason he hates Christmas is because he just can't be a part of Christmas because he doesn't have anyone to celebrate with. I thought that was kind of touching and sad.
I don't know. It felt like every other Illumination movie to me. It felt almost more like, and I say this as a millennial, but it feels like this is the first movie I've seen where like this was made by fucking millennials. Like whoever wrote it. It's like if BuzzFeed like made a movie. That was kind of like the humor about it. Like a millennial movie directed towards kids who aren't millennial. I don't know. The humor was just kind of
No, that's fair. There's like there's definitely like. No, I get what the Illumination.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, Illumination is the exact type of company that like makes jokes about twerking and like YOLO. And, like, bizarre.
Do they
like,
bring that up in the movie?
I know,
No,
but
they don't.
like
But
they
there's,
might
like,
as
humor.
well.
Yeah,
like
there's like
it's
humor that's along. There's some humor along that line, especially in like it's just like when they bring that stuff up, it's like, oh God, please,
just
give me a
sort
break
of
from this.
it's constantly
God, show me mercy, strike me down.
on the edge of like making some horrible dated pop culture reference. Or...
Yeah, because usually they make these movies like a year in like they start it a year in advance, and then by the time the movie comes out, that pop culture reference is old or it's an old meme or I don't even know.
It doesn't, but like it's almost there. Like it almost crosses the line.
Yeah.
You can feel like the movie's so desperately wanting to do that.
Hey, by the way, I'm sorry, this is totally off topic.
Go for it.
There's one thing I was just thinking about when I said they make these movies in a year in advance. I have a theory on why Jumanji was able to be made so quickly. Literally,
they filmed them back to back.
No.
Oh.
No. Well, maybe. Well, that kind of in a way. What I'm thinking is they didn't. No. Wait.
It's all deleted scenes from the first movie.
Yes. Yes. There is. I'm guaranteeing that there is at least 3 or 4 major sequences that were cut from the first Jumanji, and they knew they were going to make a sequel by the end of the first one, so they just started doing the CGI ahead of time.
Yeah, maybe.
And so by the time the filming began with the actual actors, it was already a year in production of CGI. So they met them halfway, did the acting, and then basically they just had to copy and paste the actors into the CGI scenes. They had to patch in some of the scenes from Jumanji that got cut, do a little bit of polishing, and the soundtrack, boom, you're good to go by Christmas. It's the only thing I can think of, because you simply do not make a major Hollywood studio film with tons of CGI like that in a year and get it done. That's the only thing I could think of, because that was the most. But when they announced that, like,
well, the CGI is not great.
It's not. It's still like that's still. I mean, to make it not look like absolute shit, they do have to put some work into it. So.
Yeah. No,
I just thought that was that is. I'm very excited to see it because I loved the first one, and The Rock is, of course, The Rock's gonna say nothing but good things, but he says it's a lot of fun. He said he had a lot of fun making it and watching it. So I'm excited for it, but still, it's gonna be interesting how that plays out. Started principal production in January, or even like February, and it's out 10 months later. That's just insane, but. That's why I'm not a CGI animator in a major studio, because that would suck. Speaking of Sonic, what do we think of Sonic?
They have good chili cheese dogs.
They should not be named Sonic. Guys,
got some nice cheddar bites.
we're gonna blow a sponsor opportunity here. Sonic it's the slowest fast food restaurant out there.
That's part of its charm.
They are so fucking slow.
You drive
And also-
in.
I'm gonna say Freddy's.
Also, they have way too wide ranging of a food menu to know
It's insane.
to think it's anything other than like literally food you get at like a little league ballpark, where the kids make it. Like it's literally shipped in from there, and they just slap a Sonic logo on the box and say this is a special Sonic.
Do you remember a long time ago, like when we were all, little, if they had a thing where like if they took too long to get the food out to you, you would get like a coupon for like a free hamburger or something.
Yeah.
My family had stacks and stacks and stacks of free hamburgers, and they don't do it anymore because I'm sure they lost a lot of money. They realized we're way too fucking slow. We're bleeding hamburgers.
Yeah.
We should not be called Sonic.
You know what?
Should be called molasses.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good comparable thing.
100-year-old turtle slathered in molasses and
Who wants to go get some 100-year-old turtle slathered in molasses?
I don't know. I'm pretty hungry right now.
There is what was the last time you got something from Sonic that was advertised that was actually delicious? That's another thing.
Their Sonic shakes are pretty good.
Their burgers are not terrible.
shakes are good.
They're shakes.
Summer shakes.
The last time I had a shake from Sonic, and it's been this way my entire life, it is literally so cold it will not go through their stupid Sonic straws.
Well, you gotta.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, it's like
they're-
you just suck on it,
they
and
can
you
be
keep
thick.
sucking, and you just suck, and nothing comes. It just stays down there. It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna clip that. So
It's-
bad. You just suck.
Oh God.
It's serious. Like I can't. It will not do it. It
See,
just doesn't
You're
budge.
the wrong
not
Sonic
warming it
then.
up with your hands first.
You or do you
That's
turn
what
on
you're
the heat?
missing
Do
out.
you turn on
You
the
got-
heat in
you
your
need some
car and put it
friction.
in front
Yeah.
of the-
You need some friction on the cup.
that's what I my hands aren't warm enough.
You
That's
gotta
what I-
work it up and down with your hands a little bit.
Cup it a little bit.
Jesus.
This is now
So when
we're earning our
Oh,
explicit
God.
content anchor.
I think I have a
tag we
few
put on
Are we
ideas of some
tagged?
sponsors we
No,
may get.
but Jordan tagged it one day
They
on
tagged it
accident.
like the first week on
Yeah.
accident.
I mean,
And we do curse.
it's true.
This is our new ad that we're going to be
Hey, I
having
also
at the beginning of the pod.
watched American Hustle,
Sonic. Yeah.
the David O. Russell.
Oh, you just watched it?
You just watched it. That was good. I liked that.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. Bradley Cooper is such a skis in that movie.
Mhm.
He's such believable skis.
I honestly,
Yeah.
I watched that movie and I was really bored during it, and I watched the whole thing, and I have no idea what that movie is about or what they do. I forgot everything. I did not like that movie very much, and I think I own it because I bought it on Black Friday for like $4. It's just
Basically,
to show
if
how
I
much of a
recall,
film nerd I am.
Jeremy Renner's character is running for mayor.
He is the mayor.
He is the mayor. And they're trying to get dirt on him. So isn't it basically... No, Christian Bale's supposed to set him
and
up.
Amy Adams, yeah, they run some kind of scheme that I don't fully understand or comprehend. And then they get busted by Bradley Cooper, who's with the FBI. And then so part of their deal is they have to help do like 4 stings, make 4 busts. And then Jeremy Renner's character falls in their radar somehow. I guess it's based off a true story,
Mhm.
or at least inspired by one. And apparently, like most of the movie's dialogue was like improv, or they did a lot of improv, and I think all the performances are really, really good. Like
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, who I'm normally like lukewarm on, like she's hilarious in that movie.
And she's,
Mhm.
you know,
It only has a few scenes,
she's
but
a great actress.
I think she runs away with the movie. Really,
she's a great
Yeah.
actress. I could see being annoyed with her personal life. She can be.
Oh, I don't even know about all that. It's just kind
Oh,
of.
it's not that. It's just like her personal, her public persona is kind of like, oh my god, I'm so ditzy. You know,
I don't know. She seems fine. I just don't like.
it's kind of my thing.
I think it's a dumb issue to have with her, but the way like she kind of took over the most recent X-Men movies, because she's playing Mystique and she's this huge actress, so Mystique has kind of this overblown importance in those movies, and they try to make her out as more of like
I think for
just
her,
a good but temporarily upset character. It's like, no, Mystique's a fucking villain. Like,
Well,
she's
I
not
think-
leading the team.
I
like,
think what happened was because they signed her into a long-term contract.
Yeah.
And that was before she made it big.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence, she's a famous actress. Let's center these movies around her. So I think that's what ended up happening.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like,
they ended
they
up
were-
having to change that
'cause,
character.
Yeah, she's the big star. American Hustle, I give like 3.5 stars out of 5.
Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't rate my movies. I give Claws 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I give
Wow.
The Irishman. I give Claws 4 out of 5 stars, and I give The Irishman 4 out of 5 stars.
It's going to take me years to watch that movie. It's going to
Watch
take
it
me
watch it like a TV show.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. It's gonna take me at least 2 years to finally sit down and be like, all right, I'll watch this, and then I will
2
watch
years?
it. I will watch it
It's
over
free.
the course of like
Well,
3
it's not
days,
free, but-
probably. I just don't like. I don't really go for like true crime, gangster films. Don't do a lot for
You're
me.
not really.
Unless there's like some kind of heavy
Oh man, dude, they're
stylization,
fascinating to me.
like a the Baby Driver director.
Edgar Wright.
Like if he did like a gangster movie,
Yeah.
I'd be all over it. But like,
dude, I don't know, man. I am fascinated by stuff like that, like
But just-
Goodfellas and
I don't really want to watch Martin Scorsese jerking off to the Italian mob for 3 hours. Like, that doesn't appeal to me.
and it is always
Uh-oh.
curious. I wonder if
The Italian mob's going to listen to this podcast, and we're all going to get
I
No
wonder if-
disrespect to the
knocked
Italian
off.
mob, but I just, movies
Sonic,
aren't for
Sonic
me.
and
And
the
if
Italian
so-
mob are going to be coming after us.
and if so, we do have lasagna. My mother makes a great sauce.
We're all gonna
We'll
be
f-
dead
yeah,
this
we're
time
fucked.
next week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do like Sonic's mozzarella sticks. I've been rolling
We're
hard
back
on
to
that.
Sonic.
Or their
I
cheddar
have seen
bites.
cups in the trash. From
Yeah.
Oh, good. I have a soup I'm gonna eat later in between this show.
So from Sonic?
No, unfortunately not. Homemade. I don't know. Now that's something Sonic should get into. The soup business.
Well, that's all I watched. I did buy a couple movies I haven't seen yet on Black Friday. Took advantage of some Blu-ray sales.
I only got 2 on Black Friday.
I got 23.
Movies?
Holy God.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You act
Yeah.
okay, Tim?
Yeah.
One of the, or I guess 3 of them, I got the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's a good purchase.
So
Yeah,
He's
the-
like, okay.
the
You know,
thing
20
is,
fine.
okay.
I'm actually okay. So typically, it's a tradition for Tim, T-Time, and I to go Blu-ray shopping on Black Friday night. I got too drunk on Thanksgiving, and I literally could not drive anywhere. And when I was finally sobered up enough to drive home, it was about damn near midnight, and I get into the place around 12:30. And the thing is, though, I was so bummed to miss out on that tradition, but also not because I have not seen my movies in a little over like 4-5 months because they've been in a box in my basement because I have no place to put them. And honestly, I went to Target to buy some, and I was like, I do not know what I already own and what I don't because I haven't seen them in so long. And so I was like, I'm not about to buy like my 3rd copy of John Wick 2. So I just bought 2 movies I knew I didn't have that were great deals, like Detective Pikachu and
Did you get Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
I got Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu and Spider-Man Far From Home. I got those 2 things,
I
and I
got
got a nice blender.
Shazam.
I got Shazam as
Oh,
well.
good. Have you
And
seen
and
Shazam?
I have not seen Shazam. And I also got Godzilla, King of Those Monsters.
Mm.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
haven't seen
I was
that one
hoping to
either.
have watched most of them by today, but didn't happen. So I might watch one tonight, and then
There you go.
before next episode. We've all talked about those already. I'm just playing 2019 catch up right now, basically.
Yeah,
I need
Um,
to as well.
yeah.
So-
I like, dude, and I really like Detective Pikachu, so I'm excited to watch that again. It's a good movie, atmospheric. I like it.
I got see if I can remember all 23. The Cornetto trilogy. Those are 3. Then I got Ex Machina,
Nice.
Stars Born, Shazam, Spider-Man, Shape of Water,
Oh,
all 3 John Wicks,
oh,
First Man.
okay.
I'm at 12.
Still haven't seen First Man.
Halfway
You're
through.
at 12.
Then I got. Damn it.
Yep, no, this ain't happening.
It's the most exciting segment in the history of the Cinemaxtic show.
I know, right?
Continue, please.
Everyone's at the edge, on the edge of their seats right
Wow,
now.
what Blu-rays at Tim buy? I want to know this. When I
Mm.
buy the Blu-rays, I know I'm going to watch them again, or I definitely have a desire to watch them again. Do you really have a desire to watch A Star Is Born
So,
again?
I've
like,
never.
oh, man.
No. I've never
I
seen
feel
it.
like being depressed. Let's throw on A Star Is Born.
I've never seen A Star Is Born. I got it because it was $4.
You haven't seen it? Oh, no.
Why not?
That's gonna be a one-time watch, which is, I guess, is worth it because you'd have to rent it for like $4. So
Yeah,
at least you own it.
might as well.
Although low key, I do have HBO, and it is on HBO.
Tim.
Dude,
I'll be
I
honest.
guarantee you will not. That would be like watching Manchester by the Sea again. Why would you ever want to? You own that movie too. You bought that on Black Friday. I'm like, why
Yes,
would
I
you
did.
ever watch this
So
again?
I'll be honest. Like while I was,
Depressing films are not rewatchable
While-
films.
while
No
I
one's
was-
throwing on Schindler's List on a Friday night.
Someone might
it's
be.
a Thursday
actually.
movie.
Maybe, but that would be like that's sad.
I'll be honest. So while I was picking out those movies, I didn't have as much excitement as I did like last year. I was like,
It was not
Didn't
a good
stop
year
you from
for
buying
it
23.
really
of
wasn't.
them.
It wasn't a
I
good
know,
year.
I know, right?
That
I
was
have
something
an
I noticed.
obsession.
I hear
Dude, I was
Sick
looking
of
around and there
this.
was like, honestly, I was like, there was tons of 2019 movies on sale, but I'm like, I don't really want to own any of these. Like, there's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
2 or 3. It was a
I-
bad year for Blu-rays.
So like last year, I think I bought 20 as well,
If you-
roughly.
yeah.
And I only watched. I think I've only watched like 5 or 6 of them.
Well,
But if
Blu-ray or DVDs in there too.
Both.
But if you wait till
Blu-ray and DVD.
like next year's Black Friday, there's gonna be plenty of movies you're gonna want to get. Like It 2 is gonna be on special. Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman will probably be on Blu-ray by then. Claws will be on Blu-ray by then.
I don't think I'll buy Claws.
Joker comes out in January on home video.
It does, but little pro tip for you. Actually, I don't know if this works on Joker. I know it works for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but a lot of the time, Vudu, you can buy the movie digitally now, and for one price, you can get you basically buy the Blu-ray and you get immediate access to the digital copy
Through Vudu?
through Vudu. It's not
They
now.
send you the Blu-ray?
Yes, and they'll mail you the Blu-ray.
Wow.
It's a really great service. I wish they did for every movie. Sometimes they have like some issues with like the studios where they can't do that. But there's like I've done that for several films that I know I really want. I buy it on their service. I get instant access to the digital movie, and then they send me the Blu-ray in the mail when it comes out on Blu-ray, so you can watch it. So you can have it as your physical collection.
There you go.
It's a great service, Vudu. Check it out. Yeah. No, you going to say something? Go ahead.
I forgot what it was.
All right. Well, let's move on to a little bit of segments in the news. We told you we were going to we have no idea what we're talking about today. We're just freeballing it.
Who knows where this ride's
We're
gonna
going
take us.
commando. But I will say this. There were 2 trailers that dropped recently, both that I was able to watch because they're only 2 minutes long, and I'm not that busy of a person that I couldn't take time to watch both of those trailers. And
Have you ever been like, this trailer's way too long?
I can't, I'm not going to be able to catch this.
3 minutes?
I'll watch this on the weekend. Let's start with Black Widow first. Here's what I'll say about Black Widow. As someone, as you know, I'm not a big Marvel fanboy. However, this movie went from I have literally less than 0% interest in seeing a standalone Black Widow movie.
You can't have less than 0.
Phew.
Just like I did Captain Marvel, and I still have not seen Captain Marvel, and I still have no desire to see that movie. Which, by the way, Paige texted me out of the blue. She's like, I'm watching Captain Marvel. This movie sucks. And she couldn't even get through it. She had to turn it off because it was bad.
That's how I was. I attempted
know,
to watch it on my flight to the UK.
I was
so
and
bad.
I ended up turning it off.
I was-
Literally every person I've talked to who have actually given a genuine watch said, like, I wanted to turn, like, Drew,
So-
who saw in
You
theater,
never
said
talked to me about
Drew
it.
said he wanted to leave halfway through. He's like, I wanted to leave the theater. It was
I
that
didn't
bad.
think it was
And Paige was like, I'm
bad.
halfway through this, and this is so boring. I don't care about any of these characters. I just want to turn it off.
So I was thinking about this yesterday. There's a YouTuber I really like, Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Don't know if you watch him. He just talks about like a lot of movies and
He's a friend of the podcast.
sure. Marcus, shout
Marcus,
out.
you out there? Yep.
But he did a whole series where he reviews each Marvel movie up to was it Infinity War at that point, one by one.
Uh-huh.
In kind of these 3 long videos. But just him, he didn't include Captain Marvel in that. I don't think it was out yet. It wasn't.
It wasn't. It
But
came out
just-
after.
Having me rethink about phase 1 of the MCU again, and we kind of talked about this, how Captain Marvel feels like a phase 1 Marvel movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Not only did it really cement like, man, phase 1 of the MCU was kind of awful. Like,
Iron Man was good.
See, I actually,
Iron Man's good,
and I-
Avengers is good,
I have a guilty.
The rest of them are not.
Dude, I like First Avenger. People always
The
say
first Avengers is Captain America.
Captain America First. I liked it.
Okay,
I think it's like one of my favorite ones.
I only saw it once. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I got Disney Plus now, so it's on the list.
I like that movie.
But again, and then also thinking about like that made me think about Captain Marvel even more, and I was like, came to the conclusion when we reviewed it, I was trying really hard to find something positive to say about it, and I realized, like, you know what, that movie was kind of ass. Like,
it's not.
I'm glad. I'm not disparaging Brie Larson or any of the people involved or people who have connected with the movie. Like, again, I've seen like little kids walking around with Captain Marvel shirts. I think that's super fucking cool.
Yeah.
All the same, the movie's not good. Yeah. It's so boring. It's just bland.
Yeah. Dude. And there was not like usually some of the characters I have no interest in. They put something in there that makes me interested. Like for instance, Ant-Man. I have no interest in that character, but I wanted to watch it because Paul Rudd is a really charismatic guy, and he sold me on the movie, and it looked like it was kind of fun with the things they were doing. Every Marvel movie has done that. Every single one. There's something. Well, maybe not all the Thor movies besides Ragnarok, but every single time I saw a trailer for this, I'm like, I could care less. And the thing that annoyed me most that I was looking forward to in Endgame is like they made like Captain Marvel like super OP in that and like made her so badass. I'm like, she has one movie. She's been in this thing for hardly at all, and she's like a main character right now saving the day. I was like for instance, someone brought this up, and I've probably said this on a podcast before. That scene where Thanos is like about to snap the finger or whatever, and Marvel is like holding his hands and then like headbutts him, and he goes, oh shit, and then she like beats the shit out of him. That should have been Hulk. That should have been Hulk's redeeming moment after he got his ass handed to him by Thanos the first time they met. That should have been Hulk keeping him from snapping, then Hulk beating him up a bit and having that moment, but instead they like made Captain Marvel have this big moment in that movie, which kind of annoyed me.
Hulk was underutilized in Endgame.
That was the biggest. That was like my biggest disappointment. I loved that character in Avengers.
And then Captain Marvel is definitely super overpowered.
Yeah.
They've got an issue going forward with.
Right.
And I'm not super familiar with the comic iteration.
How are they going to make any threat seem plausible in any Avengers?
But you know how like she kind of goes like Super Saiyan in the movies. I think drawing from in the comics, she has like, it's called like binary form, where she's able to tap into the energy of a binary star. And I think those are just temporary things, but it seems like in the movie, she can just go Super Saiyan whenever she wants.
Yeah.
So again, I like the character, and I really liked her interacting with the other characters.
Yeah.
It's just solo movie. The action was whack. The humor didn't land.
Yeah, I hear some people had problems with the scrolls too. They're like, I didn't like how the scrolls were used in that at all.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Aren't the scrolls supposed to be bad guys and they're
they
good
are
guys?
They're
now
villains. Anyways,
yeah, but
back
Black
to
Widow.
the topic.
But Black Widow. Back to Black
Sonic.
Widow. Now, yes. So, like I was saying, no interest in this movie really at all. This trailer did get me somewhat excited. They do look like they're taking a little bit of a darker angle. It does kind of feel like maybe a Jason Bourne, like a Mission Impossible,
for sure.
And the way and that's the way it should be done. It should be an action movie, a spy action thriller, and dude, David Harbour as the Red Guardian, that looked fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that was cool. I was a big fan of that.
All about it. The costume is goofy as hell.
Oh, it is.
I'm
It's
sure
so
that's
stupid.
intentional.
Yeah.
Of course, all the costumes are kind of
They
a bit much. Like her white suit you see towards the end. It's very strange. I guess it's supposed to be like a snow suit. I don't know if they're in a snowy environment.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't pay that
Russia.
close
It's always
attention.
snowy.
Though she's got bright red hair,
Yeah.
so whatever. Yeah, I love Scarlett Johansson. She's one of my favorite actresses working today. Black Widow is one of my top 3 MCU characters. So I've long been wanting a solo Black Widow movie. I don't know why it's taken this long to happen.
And it's kind of a bummer knowing she's gonna die. It's like kind of a bummer.
Yeah, so this seems like, from what we know, Not that the trailer really indicates this, but this movie takes place right after Civil War in the timeline.
Yeah.
And it seems to be setting up the next Black Widow, which is Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah.
And definitely that scene of them fighting in that apartment, that's heavy Jason Bourne vibes with that. She does that little flip and kind of throws her through the window of that door. That was straight out of Bourne.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Also, the villain in there, you get a glimpse of Taskmaster. I'm a little bummed.
Not a great name.
It's not a great name.
He's a cool villain.
He's a cool villain.
Really bad name.
It's a bad name, but they didn't
Give
like
me a task
his
and I'll
name is
complete
literally
it for you.
Taskmaster. So like, why are we going with like this heavy artillery look? Like some no, give him the white hood,
right.
give him the all that shit.
They
he
go
has.
from like a skull mask to he basically just looks like a paintball enthusiast.
Airsoft maybe,
which is for so long the MCU had a hard time reconciling its goofiness, and it wasn't until like Guardians that they finally started it kind of comfortable with the more out there things.
Yeah.
And just let it be wacky. So I don't know why we can't have Taskmaster just in his classic look.
They're making,
like the hood, the cape, the skull mask.
They're
like,
making that.
Why are we not doing that?
I mean, they're making the Baron von Zito character from Civil War, who in comics wears like what looks like a purple sock over his head. They're making that canon.
The purple hood.
He's the villain in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and there's already been a little clip released or a little still released of him. By Marvel, of him and his purple like mask thing that he wears.
He's just Cobra Commander.
Yeah, exactly. A purple Cobra Commander. Is Cobra Commander purple and G.I. Joe?
Blue.
Yeah. But
if you're colorblind.
So yeah, it's
very true.
I didn't know that, but it does look like a yeah. Shout out to our colorblind homies out there. So yeah, that's Tim. What'd you think? What you did?
I'm kind of in this. I'm in the same boat as you. I wasn't really looking forward to it. I mean, I'd go see it just because it's a Marvel movie, and you kind of
probably gonna make $1 billion.
Right? Yeah. Take my money now. But no, I enjoyed the trailer. It had a lot of good action, and I'm huge fan of David Harbour and Florence Pugh.
There's still what the problem is though, and I think could be an issue for Marvel going forward too. I'm really starting to struggle wanting to go see Marvel movies. Not because there's too many of them, not because of that. Like I haven't seen them. It's just like I went and saw them for the characters that like I fell in love with when I was a kid. Like I've known who Iron Man is for a very long time because of the animated show, and he would make appearances in different crossover episodes, and I've known who Captain America is, and I've grown up on those characters. Now that those guys are gone, I'm like, I don't really care about Thor. Ant-Man's a fun little character, but I don't really care about him in a team-up movie, and he can't carry on forever.
Movies are weak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I love Paul Rudd, but the Ant-Man
they aren't
movies
the
are
best.
weak.
The first one was good. I didn't like Ant-Man.
I honestly haven't seen all of them, either one of them all the way through yet.
They have their moments, but
I'm really starting to wonder, like, how are they going to get butts in seats? Because I don't care about any of the characters they have left. And, there's arguments to be made. You care about the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have no idea who they were. I do, but I don't go see Avengers Endgame for the Guardians of the Galaxy. I go see it because that's Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, all working together. Now that they're gone, I'm like, is there that greater purpose in the MCU still feeling like something that's going to come together that's like something you're really excited about when those characters are missing? Spider-Man is one of my top 3 heroes of all time. So I will always go see a Spider-Man.
We still have Spider-Man.
But that's the only thing I can think of. The Eternals, I could care less.
The Eternals they'll have to sell me on it,
dude. And like it's not even. And it's not even the same as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Honestly,
they're using human characters there. The Eternals, they're all gods. And
Eternals is one of those movies that I'll probably see just because I don't know much about it, and I'm just like, really curious to see what happens.
Everyone's saying like, no one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy are, but now
they had Iron Man, Captain
they're
America
a household
there to set
name,
him up, though,
which
right?
is true, but. Yeah, I heard Guardians of the Galaxy, hopped on Wikipedia, Googled Star-Lord, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, I did that with Eternals. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly. No idea.
What are these things?
No idea. And that's a funny...
They, like, characters from like a Dune novel, or I don't know.
And that's the funny thing too
You've
about
got
like,
half of Game of Thrones, and
Yeah.
half the Stark family.
you know, that's also like one of my most favorite things in the hypocritical like fandom universe is like like Sony announces like a Madam Web. We're working on a Madam Web movie. I have no idea who Madam Web is. I could care. She's like
Spider Woman.
No, she is
She's
a
an old spider woman,
and she is
old
the
spider
lord
lady.
of the Spider Verse. Like she like can go between.
Oh,
Spider-Verse
you mean Charlotte?
Grandma Spider,
like yeah,
Charlotte Webb. Nice.
Charlotte
Webb. Exactly.
Tim. Yes,
very much so. But yeah, like if Sony announces that completely irrelevant character that no one knows about, and like you go to the message boards like Sony sucks. Why would they make this? They have no idea what they're doing. And there's like comments of hate from like all these fanboys, and then Marvel announces the Eternals, and like I literally have at least Madam Web I can connect to Spider-Man. The Eternals, I have no idea what they have to do with anything. I've never heard of a single one of them, and they're like, can't wait for the Eternals.
I mean,
And
that's
I'm just like, what is wrong with people?
That's just
like, I don't. They're
MCU fanboys though. Everyone
yeah.
loves to shit on
to
Sony.
shit on it. Yeah, it's Sony has a two game winning streak going right now. Say what you want about Venom, but it did make damn near $1 billion in the box office, and Into the Spider-Verse was a all around hit. So anyways,
they're making a
on
Craven
a lucky
movie, right?
streak.
they're on a streak.
Are they making a Craven movie? Is that how you?
There's been
this
talk
character?
of that forever. They
But-
also wanted. It's just I don't want to think about it.
If they make a Spider-Verse,
Sony makes my head hurt.
if they make a live-action Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, I will be very happy.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool.
If like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man like dies in the first 2 minutes.
All right,
That's
well,
fine.
That's
Leave
one
the
way
best
to feel
two
about
Spider-Bits.
it. Exactly.
But Tobey Maguire coming back, like just a voice
And
in like
you have to bring
a
back
Spider-Verse
He
sequel
should've
would
done-
be great.
That's what they were originally planning to do, and they backed out because for whatever reason they didn't want to cause confusion or something like that. I'm like, dude, people would have eaten that up, or at least have that be the post-credit scene where it's like an animated Peter Parker from that universe like wakes up or whatever. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make a live action version. Bring him in as an animated version. We'll get it.
Anyways,
We'll connect the dots.
back to Black Widow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited for the movie based off of who's in it and the character.
Yeah.
The trailer itself wasn't great.
It was okay.
I mean, it's kind of a running trend
What
with
was-
Marvel marketing for their movies. Like the trailers just aren't hitting anymore.
What was happening at the end of the
It's
trailer?
almost like
where
there's characters
Scarlett
you don't care about in
Johansson.
them anymore.
I love Black Widow.
What was
That's
happening
true.
at the end of the trailer when Scarlett Johansson's just literally flying through the air, and there's these guys flying after her,
Shooting at her.
shooting at her? I was so confused at that part.
I watched the trailer once. I don't remember that.
Well, I don't know.
Yep, we'll find out in the movie, I guess.
Also, Taskmaster, because I always read through the Reddit comments on trailers, and it's always a shit show. Surprisingly even keel for Black Widow, but there was still plenty of like, does anyone even care about this movie at this point? And it's like they're trying to act like that the reason is because we know she's dead.
Yeah,
but the
I
real
mean-
reason is because it's a female character and Reddit's Reddit. But
I mean,
Reddit
is. I mean, you could probably go to another message board and there's people praising it because
That's true. The Marvel
That's Reddit.
subreddits
That's-
were way
yeah,
more positive than movies was. But
It's just like
where the fuck was I going with that?
Yeah.
Oh, when Taskmaster pops out with a bow and arrow, people are like explain to each other who Taskmaster is, that like, you know, he can watch someone fight and then be able to perfectly copy what they do.
What if that isn't Taskmaster? What if that's Jeremy Renner?
Well, some people are saying that, but then they're like, "Oh, bow and arrow. I wonder if he encountered Hawkeye." It's like, or maybe he just knows how to shoot a fucking bow and arrow.
no.
I don't think Hawkeye has a monopoly on using bows and arrows.
He's the only one.
he monopolized all
He's
of
the
them.
only
Like,
one.
God, people.
Put Robin Hood out of business. That
So
was a Robin Hood.
I'll go see it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, I mean, I might go see it. I don't know.
Dave Harbour,
Like I said, guys,
Florence Pugh, who's so hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just a meteoric
she is.
rise through Hollywood. Now she's in the MCU.
Yeah.
She made it.
She did.
Yeah.
She's making big boy.
I don't think you can go
bucks.
up from here.
I just don't know. It's
The
hard for me.
DCU. Now that's where
Like really just looking at the
the
MCU
real
scope.
prestigious.
Looking at the MCU scope in general, though, I'm like, I don't know what I'm excited for other than another Spider-Man movie.
It'll be interesting to see how
Not a single
WandaVision.
thing. Well, you
turns
could
out.
like it's funny like 4 years ago you put the universe in scope and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely excited for this. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for that. But now I'm like,
Yeah,
I thought Black Panther was okay. I didn't think it was spectacular. But
Yeah.
everyone thought it was spectacular. And I was just like, that's all right. And so I'm not too pumped for the sequel necessarily.
I'm excited to see. Well, rumored is they're gonna have Doctor Doom be the villain in Black Panther 2. That's the recent rumor I saw.
I did see that. I don't think there's a lot behind it.
That would be cool.
Far more likely
Yeah, it'd be cool to
is
introduce him.
Namor, the Submariner, being introduced.
That actually is kind of cool too.
So like having a war between Wakanda and Atlantis.
That would be cool. I
Yeah.
like that approach.
It'd be tight.
Yeah, but
Namor was the first Marvel hero, right?
he was
an
wasn't
early
a
one.
hero, was
Yeah.
he?
He was a
early
hero
one.
at first, I believe. Now he became a villain, but yeah.
Of course, Fantastic Four are going to be getting introduced in a couple of years. They could
We still have the
shoot
X-Men.
a
Like
lot
a-
of new
you know-
life into
you know,
them.
you know, it'd be good.
don't know.
Luke Evans would be good Namor.
I think they're going to go for like an Asian actor.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was rumor or if
Actually, it was. Now that I think about it. But yeah, so yeah, dude, just looking at the scope of things, just not sure what I'm excited for until the X-Men
Yeah.
arrive. Then
Blade, Mahershala Ali as Blade.
I have not seen a single Blade movie.
They're not good,
See,
but
what's
Blade's a super
really
cool
interesting
character.
is like throwing in Blade because Blade's villains are what Dracula.
We're getting vampires in the MCU, Max.
It's interesting
cool.
how they're gonna piece this all together because some of the characters are just so
We're gonna have
far out.
fucking
You mean Copperhead?
Dracula in the MCU, Max.
That's
That big nerd.
that's
Who do you
cool.
think? Who do you think is gonna be Dracula?
Jared Leto.
Oh God.
No, he's signed up for a 3-year deal as Joker.
No, he's Morbius. He's actually playing Spider-Man's Dracula villain called
That's
Morbius.
right.
Oh, is he?
That's
True.
it's almost. I believe it's done filming. it's happening.
Does he have like bloodsucker tattooed across his forehead?
We can only hope.
In really
Every
thin,
time I see Jared Leto's Joker,
cursive.
I get angry. I'm like, he looks like he was
you
designed.
tried to defend it.
It looks. I
You
defend.
tried to defend it.
I defend Jared Leto as the Joker, as in he is a good.
I don't.
I think he was a good choice.
It's a
to-
bad
hold-
take.
Hold
top
on.
to
No,
bottom.
No, I'm not defending that. I'm defending Jared Leto is a competent actor, a
Yes.
good actor, and he very much was a good cast as the Joker. He just was written poorly, directed poorly, and the art style was shit. It looks like you threw him in a Spencer's and you shook it up like a margarita and then you dumped him out, and that's what happened. It looks terrible. I hate it. Every single time I see his neon green hair, I want to punch him. I'm like, you look like
Not
an
the-
idiot.
Stupid tattoos or the grill.
That's stupid, dude. The grill I never actually minded. I just thought the teeth were literally metal teeth because he had his teeth beaten in by Batman. That's the only
Okay,
thing I ever
but
saw that as.
Still,
I had no problem with it. Everyone was like grill, and I was like, it's not like he's wearing like a fucking
I don't
Nelly
see
grill
how that's
where
an
he has
excuse. It
diamonds
just
all in his
doesn't
teeth.
belong.
Sure, I don't know. It was a terrible art style from everything.
That's like if
everything he wore.
if he had like, I don't know, a sword arm, and people are like, well, what if Batman cut his arm off and he replaced it with a sword? It makes sense.
the
It's
only
like,
time
it's still stupid.
The only time
Like-
his Joker looked good was when he was in his black and white tuxedo towards the end of the movie, and then he was in a really cool scene that got deleted. But when he was in his black and white tuxedo with his white gloves, that was pretty cool. He looked pretty good then, but he still had a damaged tattoo and neon green hair. Moving on. Okay, let's talk about the next trailer and the news. No Time to Die, James Bond's latest and Daniel Craig's last time as James Bond happening. This is why I care about this movie. I don't really, because I've seen one James Bond movie, I think, my entire life, and it was Casino Royale, and
You've only seen one?
I saw it with you and your dad and your grandpa
Wait.
Oh yeah.
in theaters.
Not just one Daniel Craig Bond movie. You've only seen one Bond movie in your whole life.
My whole life, I've only seen one. I know. I need to watch.
Doesn't
them.
your dad have the Bond collection?
Yes, I think he does. But yeah, the only time I saw that was in the only James Bond movie I've seen was in 7th or 8th grade with Tim and his family.
You didn't see Skyfall?
I haven't seen Skyfall, and that's the one I definitely need to watch. Everyone says watch Skyfall, but I'm
great.
I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Is Casino Royale, is Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale, Skyfall, are those all like in like continuous? Like I need to watch the other two to be able to understand what happens in Skyfall?
Well, Max,
I don't know.
That's an interesting question. So Quantum of Solace does pick up directly from Casino Royale.
Okay.
Skyfall, not so much, but it's more of just a culmination of all of that. And then they decided, hey, why don't we make a movie that retroactively ruins everything? And that is Spectre, which is, on top of just being really boring and stupid, it introduces a plot twist that not only is just a bad plot twist, it doesn't make sense. Like it tries to act like
What was the plot twist?
No.
Well, Max
I'm
hasn't
gonna watch
seen
him.
it, but
Let me watch him.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for the
we'll talk
spoilers for a
later.
movie that's 3 years old. My bad.
it's so bad.
I do want to at least
and
get it.
I hope that No Time to Die finds a way to undo that. Like, be like, that twist, that was just bullshit. Like, someone was just fucking with you, kind of thing. Or it just doesn't acknowledge it at all, because, boy, is Spectre bad.
Okay. So we get to No Time to Die then, and it looks like it's continuing from Spectre.
Yes.
For sure, because Christoph Waltz is in it.
And Léa Seydoux is in it again.
Is Anna de Armas is in
Anna
it.
de Armas, Rami Malek.
Yep.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing.
And I cannot remember the actress's name, but she was in Captain Marvel.
00.
Yeah, the other 00
she looks
agent
cool.
that is.
I believe she just goes by 00.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool.
You
Yeah,
know
but I'll say this: the trailer looked good. It looked action packed.
It
It looked fun. I'll definitely see it. I just need to watch the others.
You know what I was thinking the entire time I was watching it? I do not remember anything that's happened in the previous James Bonds.
Yeah.
See, I like to. This is kind of completely different. I like to compare it to Kingsman. I enjoy Kingsman more than Bond, personally, which probably isn't a popular opinion.
Well, I would wager a bet that is true because James Bond is an established franchise with an insane amount of fans, and Kingsman's been around for 5 years. But I do like Kingsman. I really like Kingsman 1. Kingsman 2 is fun enough. Not they went too far crazy, but yeah. We've gone
I
on
don't
that
know
trail.
if it was
many
just
times.
me, but like
Lashana Lynch.
the editing on this trailer was so bizarre to me. Did anyone else like? It was just such a weird edit to a trailer. Usually, it made me think of like. This is gonna sound weird, but almost like a Japanese trailer. Like if you've ever compared side by side, like an American produced trailer for an American film, and then you watch like a Japanese trailer for a Japanese film, or even like do a video game thing, they go about trailer editing very differently. Where sort of the Western approach is it's all like sizzle. It's shit that looks cool or lines of dialogue that sound cool. Like even without context, it's like, wow, this is crazy. Where like, it seems like Japanese trailers just show you shit that you would have to have context for. Like it doesn't make sense. And like, it's hard to explain. I would find an example one day and do a very long video essay to illustrate my point.
Okay.
That'll be our first live stream.
That'll be it.
Like we're like Black Widow, like you always have to have like a
896.
cliche line like we gotta go back or something like that. Where like Japanese Black Widow would be like, you mean Megan forgot it was my birthday. Like some bizarre line of dialogue that's like, what the fuck? Like,
God
this
damn it,
is
Megan.
this is a
Damn it.
dialogue you put in a trailer. Like, that doesn't, it tells you nothing. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird. They've got a very different sensibility towards
and that
advertising.
may have been why
and
I felt lost through it.
so anyways, I guess what I'm getting at is just the No Time to Die trailer was just edited so strange. There wasn't like a consistent tone, a feeling of like a build up or an escalation created with the trailer. It was just like a bunch of random shit. Can't even say I have any clue what the movie's about.
Yeah, I don't know. And
Léa Seydoux' character has secrets,
yeah, it starts out with her.
and then Rami
Betraying
Malek
him?
is there, and then
I think Rami Malek's going to be good. But again, I thought Christoph Waltz was going to be good, and I cover your ears, Max. I wasn't happy with his character development.
Blofeld. Yeah, Blofeld was crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Bond, A No Time to Die, a No Time to Die.
Not only, Max, you have to see Spectre. Not only is the twist of Spectre so stupid it ruins everything, but the villain's motivation for it is the most ridiculous, dumb thing. I can't say anything because it would give it away, but there's no way to talk about it without talking about it. It's so pants on head, mind-numbingly dumb.
Was
I
it
don't know
like
how
they're
they got
both peeing at urinals and got a little splashback on a shoe type of
Might
deal?
as well be, yeah. You're like, James Bond, you pissed on my shoe 10 years ago. Now I've orchestrated the complete collapse of your life. It's more or less what it is.
That sounded
It is
exactly
more
like
or less
Christoph
what
Waltz.
it is.
Oh, all right, well, I'll definitely take a look at it, and I'll report
Well,
back to
yeah.
you when I find out.
I'm reading it now.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'll report back to you when
I literally haven't seen any of the new shit with Daniel
Well, you
Craig.
guessed it. You hit the nail on the
Boom.
head.
Don't
It's
even-
all
don't
about
even need to
peeing
watch
on a
them.
shoe.
That's a cuckoo plot
Yeah.
twist.
Sorry.
Cocoa Puffs.
Moving on past No Time to Die, we do have one last topic. It was TV time. Have any of you guys watched Watchmen?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, Watchmen's really
I've been
good.
wanting to.
And two, Witcher is coming to Netflix. Got great reviews so far. People saying that the action sequences would put Game of Thrones to shame. The swordplay.
Game
is
of
insane.
Thrones puts
So
Game
you
of
mean you
Thrones
can
to
watch?
shame.
You
It
can
does
actually
not
see
need
the
any
action
help.
sequences.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, dude, I was so annoyed by that. I was like, everyone was making me feel so mean. I was like, God, you guys are such whiners. I'm like, dude, I just couldn't see. I'm like, what do you want from me? I can't see the damn scene. We waited all year for the fight, and I can't see it. It was, I don't know. All right, well, that was TV talk. This Witcher looks good. People are saying Henry Cavill's insane, and
Is insane.
yeah, he's mentally unwell.
Like, his accent. He crushed
Oh,
Geralt's accent. 100%. Like, at least in the trailer when you hear him.
No, yeah, when you hear him, he's doing a great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it sounds
I
just
wanna
like the.
do it, but I'm afraid I'm just gonna
Let's hear
fuck
it.
it up.
Please.
Tanner, let's
on
hear it,
the
dude.
record.
Why not?
I can't.
Do it.
I
Tanner.
can't do it,
We'll
Geralt.
we'll just blame it on Max.
can't be the only
All right,
one doing.
I'm a Witcher.
Winds howling.
This is what I do.
That's pretty close.
Winds howling.
Winds howling.
Place of power, gotta be.
Yeah,
I haven't
I don't think
given.
that's bad at all, T.
I haven't given up the role of Superman. The cape is still in the closet.
all right.
I don't want to kill monsters. I want to have sex.
Where is Siri?
That's Geralt. Sometimes you have to have sex with monsters.
do
Sometimes monsters have sex with you.
you have any idea
Are
how?
we talking about Evil Dead now?
Do you have any idea how hot my pecs are?
Okay. All right.
These are like 2 filled-up water balloons stuffed under skin, sculpted into a beautiful mass of man.
I hope he just randomly purrs at his horse in the show too, because that threw me for a loop. in
I hope
Witcher
Roach
3.
gets on
just
a
right,
roof.
and all of a sudden hear this bizarre noise, and I had subtitles on it, just said purr. I'm like, did I just run over a cat? Like, what was that?
I'm very excited. Also, you know what I'm excited for? This is a major freaking show, and they're releasing all the damn episodes at once.
Yes.
Disney.
Disney Plus, you
Yes.
fucks.
Learn from that. God. Hey, not only are we not going to release it all at once? They're going to be 35 to 40-minute episodes. On top of that, we're releasing it at 2 a.m. So you can't even talk about it at work with your friends because you won't have time.
We can watch it at
Well, you
work
know
with
what?
your friends if you're good enough.
I have an opinion, but I'll save it for the Force Vision podcast.
But yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for today's Cinemaxtic. We took you on a wild ride. What?
I was going to bring up some DC-related stuff.
Holy shit, it's happening.
Go ahead.
We've been talking about the
thought we made it
MCU
out.
so much.
We can extend it. What's going
But
on?
we've had confirmation that Birds of Prey is going to be rated R,
Oh, yeah.
and that DC going forward is more open to making R-rated
Suicide
films.
Squad 2 is going to be R-rated as well.
So I think this is how DC competes with Marvel. They don't try to copy Marvel with the cinematic universe PG-13 movies. They make dark, mature, R-rated takes.
It's the good way to go. I mean, I know you especially you're not going to like this opinion, but let's just be honest. Let's be honest here. In terms of like cinematic, like all around better movies, in terms of like, let's put up top 4 of each. Like The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Joker. I'll just end it there, but like Wonder Woman, but those 3, Joker, Dark Knight, Batman Begins, darker, more, and I love Dark Knight Rises, but that's the one that's like very all over the place. But those 3 movies are darker, adult takes, but great stories. And I'm not saying this to bash anything, but they are better than any MCU movie by a long shot. In terms of like depth, in terms of what you care about, in terms of like wanting to rewatch them.
Spider-Man 2.
No, that's talking MCU, by the way, because
Well,
Logan is
Nolan
great.
trilogy. I would not consider DCEU.
I think Logan is. I would.
The Nolan trilogy
Oh,
doesn't
it's not.
count.
No, I'm not
if
saying
we're not
DCEU.
counting
I'm just talking
Tobey
about-
Maguire's Spider-Man.
No, and
movies.
I'm just talking DC Marvel. So I shouldn't say like
Okay,
MCU.
okay,
Just DC
okay.
Marvel. DC has like, if you have like, in terms of like great content, in terms of like movies that have been recognized in various different ways, I think those movies would clearly be better if you ask like a bunch of like true movie fans who aren't just like straight up DC or MCU fans. And I'm trying to say that objectively as a big DCU fan. I think people would say yes, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Joker are better movies than 99% of Marvel movies. Now Logan, that's a great movie. Love that. I love Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, they do need to go that way. They don't need to stick to a theme. That's something that's going to give it a mix up. They can have some R-rated movies. They can have some PG-13 movies. They do a crossover between the characters. That could be cool. But that's going to be way down the line before they try and do any more crossovers. But something else too, guys. Someone brought this up. We were just about to end this thing, but they're saying Superman. People are saying Superman, that WB is having trouble finding a way to make Superman relevant to modern audiences. And that just infuriates me to no end, because you could literally look in various different forms of media for inspiration on how to make Superman in the modern world. But someone tweeted this, and I thought it was great. You don't have to make him relevant. You have to make him inspiring. And that's something that Marvel did great. Marvel made 3 great Superman movies in the Captain America movies, because that's what Superman is. He is he's a Boy Scout, and he does like have issues, and he has problems just like any other human. But Superman just needs to be inspiring in a world that needs it, and that's what we need to go for.
I think the difficult part when you compare Superman to Captain America, he's just super strong, but yet he still gets his ass kicked. But he keeps fighting through it. While Superman, there's no one you can really throw at him that's gonna.
Well, Zod almost killed him. I mean, that was a great fight.
Yeah, Man of Steel is fantastic.
I love
but then
that
they
movie.
They finished it there. They didn't do a second one, and then
Henry, and Henry Cavill also come out and said he's like, I mean, honestly, he almost disparages BVS and Justice League because he's like, I wanted to go. I love Man of Steel. I'm very proud of that film. I don't necessarily like where. It basically was saying I don't necessarily like where they took the character in Batman vs Superman. He's like, Superman is an inspiring character. He inspires good. I want to go towards something like that you get from the comics, and that's something he's saying he's really focusing on, is trying to get that movie made. And he wants to get back on track from where they left off in Man of Steel. That's where they don't have to make him relevant. stop trying to make everything like a social issue. Just make him inspiring. Just go for that. People will come and watch him, and people want Henry Cavill to be Superman.
What if he played Superman like Geralt of Rivia?
Like where he had long gray hair and everything? Oh, that would be badass.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Superman's just like, I'm going to have sex with Batman.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting take, but I mean, we can do that. Send that script to WB.
Superman loves Batman. That's my my script.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to leave the podcast for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, this is the Cinemaxtic Podcast. You can find us on Cinemaxtic Pod on Instagram, Cinemaxtic on Twitter, cinemaxticpod@gmail.com. Download that Anchor app. If you search for us on the Anchor app, you can actually leave us a voice message. We can patch you into the podcast. You can leave a question, comment, anything like that. We'd love to hear from you. Patch it in. It would be fun. Thank you guys again for listening. We really, really appreciate it. We have cool things coming down the road. If you didn't catch it, you can go listen to last time's 2 weeks ago's podcast where I kind of cover what we're going to do in the year upcoming. But a lot of exciting things coming. So thank you guys again for supporting. And we will see you next week on the Cinemaxtic Podcast. As always, watch on.